What's going on, guys? Max and Melaned here, bringing y'all another video. And in today's video, we're going to be working on some slappy nose slides. If you are an avid watcher of this channel, you can already tell where we're at right now. We are at the classic little slappy curb spot in New Paltz, over where my girlfriend lives. And I haven't skated this curb in a while, man, especially not in a video. So I'm definitely excited to be here and grinding out some slappy nose slides today. Now, while we have made a decent amount of progress in our skateboarding over the last few months, especially the summertime, you know, with stairs, flat ground, stuff like that, I feel like one thing we have neglected is slappy nose slides. That's mainly just because a lot of the places I've been, especially over the summertime, just did not have the greatest like slappy curbs where I could actually lock in and practice nose slides. But a couple weeks ago, I was in New Paltz visiting my girlfriend, and I started really locking in to a lot more nose slides, especially based on some trick tips that had been given to me by some fellow subscribers who I will shout out at the very end of this video. Just gotta go back and find those comments. But yeah, you know, today we are back in New Paltz. My girlfriend's still in class right now, so I figured let's come and try to get some more practice in on them, because I haven't really practiced this trick in a couple weeks now. But sometimes that's better. When you take a little break from a trick and come back, you can really like learn from your previous mistakes and push the limits a little further. And today I kind of just want to share my journey and progress with this, because I feel like last year we did do a video when I first started learning these, but I have definitely come a long way with them still since then. And there's really three main tips that I want to give you guys that have really pushed my slappy nose slides the furthest. So if you are a beginner and trying to learn this trick, and you kind of have a grasp on it, but you just aren't locking into them the greatest, I think that this video is really going to help you. Before I give the three tips, just wanted to give a disclaimer to those who are watching who have never even tried slappy nose slides before. This might not be the best video for you. This is more about some tips that you should use once you actually know how to lock into them, and you're just trying to get them to slide a little bit longer and a little bit better and more consistently. I would go back and watch my first video on nose slides. It's a little bit back on my channel, but I think it's something like beginner learns how to do slappy nose slide, and that's definitely going to have some better trick tips on doing nose stalls, getting into a slappy nose slides, and kind of the initial steps for this trick. This is going to be more focused on just trying to extend your slappies and getting them more consistent and locked in. So without further ado, let's go over those three tips that have helped me, and then we'll set up and start working on them ourselves. So the first trick tip that was given to me that really started helping me lock these in was to approach the curb at more of a 45-degree angle rather than coming in straight parallel. Here, I'm gonna go to 0.5 just so you guys can see it a little better. All right, so when I first started doing this trick, I used to kind of come at the curb almost straight parallel. And as I was coming at the curb, I would just try to totally turn 90 degrees into the nose slide, and it would be really hard to consistently lock in. It would just really push me straight off as soon as I got on. It was just not very conducive for this trick. And then one of my friends, I think it was Des, so shout out Des, told me approach it more at a 45-degree angle. And if you're coming in like this, you just have to do a little bit of a pivot to actually fully lock onto the curb. So that's going to be tip number one, is come in and approach at that 45-degree angle. It's going to make things so much easier when you don't have to do that full turn from being parallel with it, and you can really focus more on locking into the curb rather than getting onto the curb. Trick tip number two is going to be kind of foot placement. Used to, when I would do this trick, I would kind of have my front foot just like over the bolts, kind of in that pocket in between the nose and the bolts. And then my back foot kind of also in that same pocket. The back foot is honestly fine here just for pivoting in. The thing that's been helping me the most recently is one of my subscribers. I will put his name kind of on the screen here right now, because he's the one who basically told me this trick tip. He told me basically to put my foot a couple inches further onto the nose, almost all the way onto the nose like this, where you can actually almost, honestly, all four bolts are exposed. You can see them because my foot's all the way past them, past the pocket, and all the way onto the nose. And when your foot is all the way up that couple inches further, it really gives you a lot more pressure to put down onto the curb. And it just allows you to lock in a lot easier and kind of stay up on the curb and stay balanced. And I find myself slipping out a lot less, which is honestly one of the most scary things about this trick, is just not fully committing and slipping out. So if you have your foot all the way up on the nose, almost as far as you can get it, you're just gonna have a way better lock-in point, and that's gonna help you really stay on the curb. All right, so the third and final trick tip for this, I'm not gonna have to really show anything because it's more common sense or just a mental thing. It's just gonna be fully committing to the trick, man, and putting all of your weight on your front foot where your actual nose is touching the curb. trust me, when you're learning this, it's really easy to just put half your weight on the nose, half your weight still back on your back foot after you pivot. And that's just gonna lead to a lot more slipping out. It's gonna lead to just not fully locking into the curb and kind of just doing this like half power slide, half nose slide combination, which just doesn't look as good. It's not the actual trick that you're trying to accomplish, and it's gonna hinder your progress. So if you can really push past the mental block and just put all your weight on that front foot and really lean into the curb, that's gonna really just help you lock in, and it's gonna be a lot less sketchy, man, because you're not gonna slip out and you're gonna have a lot less likelihood of falling, especially if you can really keep your knees bent and just ride out the actual nose slide. So really just stay on top of your board, commit fully on your front foot, hit it at that 45-degree angle. And yeah, just keep your foot really high up on the nose. And I feel like you guys will have a lot better time trying to hold out your nose slides and get them more consistent. So yeah, without further ado, I'm gonna quit talking. Just gonna set up the tripod right now and see the best nose slide we can get on this curb. I've gotten some like maybe 2-footers, 3-footers in the past. So if we could get kind of in that range today after not doing them for a few weeks, I will be very pleased. But yeah, let's just see what happens and follow my own trick tips and guides, and hopefully we can follow through with it. So let's do this thing. First one of the day, completely raw, didn't put any wax on the curb yet, so just gonna see how it goes from here. Let's do this first one. Not bad. That one, I definitely approached it at low speed, especially since I hadn't locked into anything with my nose in a couple weeks. But just following my own advice and hitting it at the 45-degree angle, really committing my weight onto the nose and having my foot really high up, we still got it to slide a couple inches on our first attempt, and then it just pushed us out to fakie very casually and very calmly. So you don't really have to even do it that fast if you follow these 3 tips. Of course, the faster you go while doing these tips, the more you're gonna slide. But just if you're trying to like kind of get this guide going, follow this guide, and try these new tips that I just gave you, feel free just to give it like 2 pushes when you're coming out of curb, especially if it's wax, because you don't need a lot of speed, at least to lock into them and get a little bit of slide going. So let's up the pace, go a little bit faster, and see if we can get maybe like a foot now. So yeah, slow but surely we're gonna get that 3-foot nose slide hopefully. As you can see just there, we just upped the speed, even just maybe half a push more, and we got maybe another inch or 2 of slidage going. So it's something that you can really slowly work your way up with. And like I said, I have some wax. We will definitely do a wax test in a little bit and see how that impacts the trick. But having wax on something like this can be good and bad, because you might have more of a risk of slipping out, but you can definitely slide further while going slower. So you gotta kind of just find a happy middle ground. But I don't wanna talk too much right now. I wanna get more riding in. So let's give it, a few more good attempts without wax, and then we will kind of come back and check in. Ooh. These are actually sliding really good right now, even without any waxing done to this curb, at least by me since I got here. I honestly don't even know if I need to put wax on it, because it might just mess up my flow right now, because I'm getting a really good feel of how this curb slides right now, and it's allowing me to kind of push them a little further each time. Mind you, I'm also only giving it 1 good push on a slight incline right now, and that's how much slidage we're getting. So I'm not going very fast at all, and I'm still managing to get almost maybe a foot of nose slide each time, and that's at like basically like the lowest speed I can go at this spot, at least to get a good slide going. So it really doesn't take much. As long as you follow these 3 tips, you can really start getting your nose slides going without having to put too much risk with the speed or anything like that, or with wax, honestly, as long as it's a good curb. But yeah, let's just keep going and see if we can extend it a little more and just increase our speed. Like I said, even another push, and we might be able to meet our goal of getting like a 2 to 3 foot nose slide today. So yeah, I'm feeling really good right now. Now, as you saw in those last few attempts, we had 1 or 2 that kind of stuck up a little bit. Our wheels got a little caught on the curb. that could be a few things. Could be just me not sitting back on it enough, because I definitely did do all the tips that I told you guys to do in this video on all of those, and we did definitely lock in. It could be that we've just kind of worn away all the wax that was already on this curb from whoever was skating it last. So I am going to go ahead and put a little coat of wax on this thing and see if we can just send our biggest one yet and see if we can meet our goal for today's video. Give it a few more good attempts with the wax. But yeah, honestly, man, I'm having very consistent nose slides right now. This is really, really impressive for me, especially since I haven't practiced this trick in like 2 weeks. And I really think that all those tips that I've given in this video are the reasons that I'm actually able to do this trick now pretty comfortably and consistently, even after not doing it for a couple weeks. But yeah, let's put the wax on and give it a few more really solid attempts to see if we can meet that goal. Not too much wax. I didn't really try to coat it on a ton. Just enough to, you know, kind of stop any type of resistance that we might have if our wheels kind of stick. We are riding softer wheels too. These are the Spitfire soft sliders. So, you know, they definitely have a little more resistance than your average hard wheel. So, you know, just put a little bit where the wheels go as well. Nothing crazy. I don't want to slip out, but we do want to just have as little resistance as possible. So let's give it a couple goes and see how it feels now. I went at that one slow. Just because I'm always kind of afraid on that first attempt after waxing, but I can definitely tell we're gonna have less resistance already. And if I give it basically a really solid attempt with the speed we were doing previously, I think we can meet our goal right now. So let's go for that 3-foot nose slide. That's the goal here. I don't have anything to really measure, but I feel like we can kind of gauge it, especially if I put it in slow-mo. So you guys can be the judge. Ooh. Just need to lock in a little better, and I think we got that. I need to take my own advice and really push all my weight onto my front foot. I feel like I'm doing the other 2 tips that I gave you guys right now pretty well, especially coming in at the 45-degree angle, especially keeping my foot all the way up on the nose. The only thing is, I don't think I'm like putting 100% of my weight on my nose right now, especially just with the mental block of having so much wax on there now. Even though we didn't put a lot of wax, just in my mind, it kind of freaks me out, but we're just going to go full send and commit here and put all that weight onto the front foot, and you're going to see how much we slide. Definitely fully committed to that one. I think we just need a little more speed and we can meet that goal. I know I keep talking about the goal. This is more a trick tip video, but this is also just showing my own personal progress. And if you watch the old video I had on Slappy Noseslides from like, I don't know, 6-7 months ago when I first started learning them, I couldn't even fully lock into them. My back wheels would drag on the ground. I would pivot out after like 2 inches. So if you know me or you've seen that video, you can already see just the amount of progress we've made on these just from those trick tips that I've been telling you guys. So really take this advice, guys, if you want to get better at this trick, because it's very useful and it's very helpful for consistency and just mental progression as well with it. So you'll feel a lot more locked in mentally. Ooh, we really held on to that one. Woo! Take your shove. I don't know if I'm in camera right now. Let's go. Guys probably didn't see the fakie shove, but y'all definitely saw the nose slide, and I think that's one of the best ones I've ever done. I'm gonna run it back and play it in slow-mo right now, and we can kind of take a look at it and see if we met that 2 to 3 foot goal. So here's the slow-mo right now. All right, guys, so I just watched that back in slow-mo just like you guys did, and I'm definitely very pleased with that nose slide. Don't know if we hit the 3-foot goal or not. I can't really measure this curb out, but it looks like we at least did 2 foot, maybe going on 2.5 feet, just by like judging it by the eye. You guys can also be the judge of that. Tell me in the comments if you guys think we made it to that 3-foot goal. I think we at least did make it between 2 and 3 feet. That was a very solid slide, and I think one of my best so far. So I'm definitely pleased with ending the video on that one. I know I've kind of reiterated the 3 tips over and over as we did the nose slides today, but I will say them one more time. Just hit it at a 45-degree angle. Make sure your front foot's all the way up on that nose, past the bolts, and make sure you're just committing 100% of your weight onto that foot after you pivot onto the curb. And that's really gonna lead to the most consistent and longest nose slides that you can possibly get. at least Slappy Noseslides. I don't really know how to ollie into this trick yet. I'm more of a slappy guy right now than ollieing into slides and grinds. But yeah, definitely I hope this helps your Slappy Noseslides. I will put all those trick tips on the screen right here as well, just so you guys can screenshot it if you guys are working on this trick right now. So here's that. But yeah, I really appreciate you guys watching this, and I hope that these tips really will help your progression. I got a lot of these tips from other people who already knew the trick a little bit better than me, and that's kind of what progressed me so much on it. Like I said, like 6 months ago, I couldn't even get any slide out. My wheels would just drag on the ground. I would just immediately pop to fakie after like an inch of being on the curb. So this is definitely good progress, and I will keep checking in with you guys on all of the tricks that I'm learning and give advice as I go as well, because maybe in a few months I'll have even better advice for this trick. I don't know if I'll make a full video on it, but if it is worth making a video on, I definitely will make a video on it, because I want to help you guys progress as much as I'm progressing. So yeah, that will be the video today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment. I really appreciate all the positivity that I've been getting from all of you. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great rest of your day, and go out and skate and do some Slappy Noseslides, man. Thank y'all so much, and peace out.